Hi everyone, this is Gavin from gavinsgadgets.com. Hope you're keeping well, and today I'm going to review the Sony Xperia XZ Premium, the camera app and the camera itself. Talk about quality. This is all about the camera. I'm going to show you the camera app interface, go through and show you a big camera showcase with lots of different modes and some difficult situations, and then give you my verdict on what I think of the camera. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the camera app. This is what it looks like when you first whack it on. So you have various options. You have a settings map. We're in the standard photo mode, and you've got self timer. If you tap on that, it gives you the options of 3 or 10 seconds or off, color and brightness, and you can adjust the color and the brightness of your photo, the sort of grading side. Resolution, I prefer 16:9 at 17 megapixels. You can see it's quite high. At 4:3 it's 19. Obviously if you shoot at 19 it's easier to crop, you don't lose as much, but you can see you haven't got too many options. That's all you've got in the Superior Auto mode. If you tap more, you've got predictive capture, which is on or off, so it tries to think what shot you're actually trying to get and gets it. Object tracking, auto capturing as well, the smile shutter, touch to adjust, focus only, and you've got focus and brightness. So it's got lots of different options here. You know, touch capture for the on, so it's back and front or just the front camera. Grid lines on or off. Auto photo preview, and I've got that for the front camera. You can use the volume key as zoom, volume or shutter, but don't forget the actual phone does have its own dedicated two-way shutter button, which is quite unique. Data storage, quick launch, so you can quickly launch the camera and you can have it to launch and capture, launch and record video or off, and there's a help guide as well. So not too bad. Quickly looking at the flash, does have quite a comprehensive option here, auto fill flash, red eye or torch, which is quite handy. Now this is where things get a bit funny. So you can go to manual mode, and obviously this icon up here is the front or back camera, and again you've got the same sort of flash options. And if you go to settings here, you've got the self timer. You can actually in here it has the HDR option in manual. The resolution is the same. If you change the ISO, so let's just put an ISO 400, but if you just jump here quickly and we go to the shutter speed and we change the shutter speed to something, if you go back, it's put the ISO back to auto. It won't let you control it as you really want, just so you're aware of that. It's got the object tracking, metering, you've got control of the various metering options, auto capturing, save location, torch capture grid lines, and using sound as well. So it's got sound on or off, so you've got a couple more options here. And then on the sort of, as we call it, sort of speeds, you've got different speeds where it shows you really fast, and that's 1/4000. Plenty of other cameras can go faster than that, and you only get 1 second. It's really disappointing. I mean, you know, I've just reviewed the HTC U11 and that can do 32 seconds. You've got white balance. Again, you've got various controls on the white balance here as well, but you can only got the various settings here, exposure, and obviously your focus. So that's the manual mode, and that is pretty much it. So now if we go through, you've got Superior Auto, video. So in the video here, you've got basically torch on or off. You've got here, so this has super slow mode. So if we just tap video resolution, and in this app it only gives you up to 60 frames per second, which is daft because the 4K is in a separate spot. Why, I do not know. Steady shot, standard, intelligent, active, off or on. Location, you've got touch capture, grid lines, pretty much volume keys are zoom, and you've got the quick launch option there showing again, and so forth, but just done all those. So what you can do, you can record a video, and what happens if you just record that, you're just in the standard video recording mode. But if you want slow motion, you have to actually hit this icon above there, and then when you get to the part where you want to actually do the slow motion, you have to hit that and it literally will do the slow motion. Obviously it's not focusing anything, but it would actually do it, and when it's done it, it's recorded it, and then you can do another part of slow motion in the same frame. But while you're doing it, you can't do much else, and it saves it, and it buffers the actual footage, and I'll show you some proper 960 footage in a minute. In terms of the apps, so these are some stuff that looks a bit crazy, but you've got AR effects here. So if I open that up, with AR effects you can choose from masks that you can put in your face, scenes where you can overlay dinosaurs, and again I'll show an example of dinosaurs on this camera showcase, and you can download, and some of these are chargeable as well, but there are a number here and they all work fairly well. Whoops, I've just come out of that. Let's go back in, and it defaults back to auto. You've got creative, the 4K video mode. If you do that, unfortunately with the 4K video mode, that only gives you 6 minutes, and you can change here. You've got a couple options in there, but not much. And again, you've got the file type, so you can do H.265 or H.264. That's the only sort of useful part there. So if you tap here, you've got created effect. It's another sort of, again, these are all like apps where you have to give them permissions. And here, this is a warning: if the temperature device rises, your recording or closing recording will save automatically. Why is that still there? I just do not know. So you've got various different effects that you can have, and you've got panorama. Again, why is panorama in a separate as an app? It should, all the modes should just be, here's all your modes, quickly select them. It's not very intuitive. But anyway, that's the rear camera. Now, this might be a bit weird when we try and do, there's me, hi everyone. So if you look there on the front, you've got soft snap, and you've got just the usual settings here. It's 13 megapixels for the front, or you can do 10 as well. You've got a timer, and you've got a soft skin effect as well, on or off, and auto capturing the hand shutter. Let me just turn that back. But what you do have, don't forget, is you do have the two-way shutter button there. Anyway, we're now going to look at the camera showcase. Okay, so now we're 1080p handheld, and we'll see what that looks like. Looks pretty smooth in the viewfinder. This is 4K, and the phone has warned me that if it gets too hot, the app or the phone might shut down. Let's have a look and see what this looks like. This is 4K again. So you've now seen the camera showcase, you've seen the camera app, and to be honest, the camera app is a bit of a mess. It's all over the place, the 4K and the AR modes. They should be integrated in a nicer way. There's limitations as to what you can and can't do in Pro mode. And all in all, what Sony's trying to do is push you towards using the auto features and the Xperia auto. But it's let down ultimately, I think, by the post-processing. So when you look at any of the photos, when you look at them on your screen, when you look at that video review, they probably all look really nice, and they do. But when you go look close up and you just zoom in slightly, you see artifacts, you see pictures that look like paintings, just not good. And I'm going to leave a link to my website, gavinsgadgets.com, and in that link will be a link to this article where you'll be able to find all the original shots, full resolution, so you can actually go and have a look at the photos and you'll see what I mean. But it's a nice phone otherwise. I think it looks really pretty and I quite like it, but it is let down by the camera. The flagships have moved on, even mid-market phones have moved on, and I'm afraid it doesn't quite cut the mustard. But if you like the cool AR tricks and the 960 frames per second, but you do need, even with that, really good light. Anything other than perfect lighting or extra lighting to make it look good doesn't work. And obviously the quality isn't at 1080p or 4K, it drops it down to 720p at 960 frames per second. But it's a cool trick, but I wouldn't just buy the phone for the 960 frames per second. So there you have it. Any questions on this, on the camera app, give us a shout. This is Gavin from Gavin's Gadgets. Keep well, keep good, and catch you guys soon.